Welcome to Hope at Night, featuring Danielle Quinones. Q&A with our live audience and host, Anil Kanda. Today's episode, what can animals teach us? And here's your host, Anil Kanda.
It's often joked there are only 3 types of snakes to worry about: big snakes, little snakes, and sticks that look like snakes. But tonight's guest might change your mind about all 3. Joining us is a dynamic herpetologist and venomonics student from Loma Linda University who has dedicated his life to demystifying the slithering and crawling creatures of the wild. With his extensive travels across the U.S., he educates communities from schools to medical teams about reptiles, venomous animals, and the critical role of conservation. Tonight, he aims to transform your fears into a profound appreciation of these creatures and a deeper understanding of God's remarkable design. Oh, and a quick warning about tonight's program. If you're squeamish about bugs and reptiles, you're going to be so glad you aren't in our studio audience. Please welcome to Hope at Night, Daniel Quinones, or as others know him, Wild Man Dan. Dan, I am excited and fearful about this episode.
I'm just excited.
Daniel, what exactly do you do?
So I study venomous animals at Loma Linda University. I'm a graduate student there. And I go around the country educating people on poisonous and venomous creatures and what to do, and mainly what not to do, actually. A whole lot of what not to do.
I'm thankful for that. What's the difference between venomous creatures and poisonous creatures?
You know, that's a great question. A lot of people get those 2 words mixed up all the time. And I like using animals for examples. Would you mind passing me that larger enclosure there on your far left?
Okay.
Sweet. So, let's get the party started, shall we? If I just open this and pull this out, I can already hear people shuffling in their seats, and it's probably going to pee. So this right here is a cane toad. And so this is a great example of poisonous. See, poisonous things, what you have to do in order to get hurt by it is you either have to touch it, eat it, or breathe it in.
Wait, it's poisonous?
It is poisonous.
And you're touching it?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'll go as far as to do this as well. Mwah. Now, while it is poisonous, and it doesn't turn into a princess every time I kiss it, it's not poisonous like a poison dart frog. See, poison dart frogs, they secrete their toxins directly on their skin through their mucus. So just by touching it, that poison is now in contact with your skin, absorbs through your skin, and will cause you pathophysiological injury, which could lead to potentially death.
Has that ever happened to you?
No, I'm still here, thank God. Now, this animal, while it is poisonous, it's not the same. It has its toxins in these bumps, and that's what makes toads so different. They have these bumps which serve a purpose. I squeeze that bump too hard, toxin actually shoots out like a pimple. Could get on your skin, in your mouth, you could even breathe it in, even your eyes.
And that's where the danger's at.
Exactly. So as long as you're not squeezing the toad too hard, but in all honesty, if kids are out there, don't touch toads, please. You know, you don't want to hurt them, you don't want them to hurt you, but that would be poisonous. You touch it, eat it, or breathe it in.
Daniel, what's the difference between a toad and a frog?
Those bumps, right there.
Okay, specifically those bumps.
Specifically those bumps. Also, most frogs can like climb on glass and walls. They have like these sticky pads. Toads don't do that. They just kind of like hobble all, got it. They kind of hobble all over the place just like that. They're also incredibly clumsy, and they will jump from any height. They are like suicidal animals. So that's why I'm holding his legs.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What's his name?
Pascal.
Pascal.
But let me put this guy back, and let's hop right into venomous creatures. If you pass me the second largest one now.
Okay.
This is where things are going to get exciting. So this animal, not a lot of people like, but I think they are really, really cool. So venomous animals are completely different from poisonous ones, and it's very simple. See, all venomous animals have some sort of tool or weapon that they use in order to inject venom. So for instance, this right here is an Asian forest scorpion, which is very different from the scorpions that you have here in the United States. And they all have that tool right there, which is the stinger. They also have these claws, but trust me, my mom pinches way harder than any of scorpion you can find. And my mom's Dominican. She used to get me on the inside of the thigh. It is dangerous. But now with scorpions, in the United States, they're medically irrelevant. If you're stung by any species of scorpion in the US, you don't have to go to the hospital unless you're having an allergic reaction, which is really fortunate for anyone who lives here in the US.
So then, what are the countries where we need to avoid these things?
Australia.
Okay.
Everything in Australia will get you.
Okay,
eventually,
gotcha.
one way or another. Now, while they are venomous, venomous animals want to use their venom for something that they want to eat. It is used for defense as well, but only if you're antagonizing it. And I love holding them like this because is he stabbing me? Is he trying to hurt me? As long as I'm not antagonizing them, they won't antagonize you right back. They're very placid creatures, and that includes even the rattlesnakes as well. You guys want to check them out? Let me show you guys. So you can see those claws, but right there, the stinger on the tail, that's what exactly they use in order to stab and inject venom into something that they want to eat. They also have this fluorescent compound in their exoskeleton. So if you use a black light, they actually glow incredibly bright. Really, really cool creatures. Most people are stung inside of their bed. They like small crevices. So when they get in your house, they climb into your bed sheets and then you roll on top of them. So if you have some, use a black light and that'll make sure you guys never get stung. But remember, only allergic reactions do you need to go to the hospital. Nothing else for any native species in the United States. Let me grab this guy and put him back now without getting stabbed today. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. And then I got...
That's really incredible. How many scorpions do you actually have?
So I've caught probably close to 1,000 scorpions. I go out and I collect their venom, and there's this one called the Arizona bark scorpion, which is technically our most venomous one. I've been stung a lot by that one, but now it's just tingly. It doesn't hurt that much, which is nice.
Wow, that's incredible. We have a nurse on standby just in case.
Yes,
so.
thank God. And then we got one more. Mind if you pass me that last one? A lot of people have arachnophobia. I'm not too sure why. Besides the fact that they have...
I'm sure why. So.
Besides the fact that they have 8 legs, they're creepy looking, and they have long hair all over the place, but they're really, really cool and fascinating creatures. So this right here is a tarantula. I'm not too sure on the species itself. I'm pretty sure it's a striped knee, hence all the stripes that are all over. But tarantulas are going to be venomous too. They have 2 fangs that they use in order to bite and inject venom, which are located down here at the bottom. But holding him right now, is he biting me? No. Like I said, they want to use it for something that they want to eat. Defense if they absolutely have to. And that's going to be the last result. For the United States, 2 spiders of medical relevance, black widow and a brown recluse. If you're bitten by either one of them, they cause necrosis, so you'll notice black, blue, or purple around the area you were bitten. You want to go to the hospital, get that cleaned up. You just don't want that to get infected. If it's just red and itchy and painful, no need unless allergic reaction again. Hey, do you want to see the fangs on this guy?
Yeah, let's see the fangs.
Oh, hang on one second. Mind if I use your desk?
Yes.
Sweet. So, like I said, antagonizing. This is antagonizing technically, so don't try this. But I'm just going to gently pry the fangs out. May I see your beautiful black fangs, please? They're ginormous. They look like cat claws.
Wow, that's incredible. Those are big.
They're massive. I'm stuck on the pillow. Okay, I'm off. You guys ready to check it out? So they're giant. They look like giant black cat claws. You guys all see? They're pretty big. Did everybody get to see? Yeah? Okay, sweet. I'll put it back. And then, here you go, little buddy. Boop. Boop. Boop.
Now, Daniel, you educate medical teams about venomous creatures. What do you teach them?
Whew. Well, a lot. Mainly how men aren't as bright as we thought, since 80% of bites when it comes to rattlesnakes are to men. Yeah, ladies have got it down. But pretty much, you know, when you get bit by a rattlesnake, we usually say you have 4 hours till you need to get medical attention, right? Until permanent damage specifically. But we're really talking about adults here. See, with extra body mass, you have that extra time to get to the hospital, while children not so much. You really want to call 911 because they'll send a helicopter to pick them up. But, you know, we talk about some of the symptoms that you will experience if you were bitten by a rattlesnake. Rattlesnakes are probably one of the more dangerous animals that are venomous in the United States you can get bitten by. Same with the cottonmouth and the copperhead. But just like these 2 venomous animals, the tarantula and the scorpion, they fit that same bill where they don't want to bite you. Even so much so that the rattlesnake really tries to communicate with you, right? That's what the rattle is for. He's saying, hey, you have 2 ears, which means you know where sound is coming from. You can triangulate noise. Let me make a noise so you understand where I am so you don't accidentally step on me. It's not a death threat. It's just simply saying, hey, this is where I am. Watch out. If you stay over there, I'll stay over here. We're good. But every guy that has been bitten usually picks it up and gets bitten anywhere from the chest and up, which is why I say women are smarter.
But sometimes, don't hospitals and doctors will say, hey, what kind of snake did you get bit by? Or is someone supposed to grab the snake that bit them and then get bit again?
Yeah, no,
Never get to the hospital in time?
Don't do that. No, leave it there. Just come to the hospital. We have anti-venom there at the hospital. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get to the hospital. They're going to take a look to make sure it is a venomous snake bite, which usually you look for 2 puncture holes or just swelling in general. Then they're going to administer anti-venom, and that's the only thing that's going to save your life at the end of the day. We have an anti-venom that basically covers every species in North America, and it's just one, which is great. It's compounded with 5 different species, a combination of their venoms put together in order to save your life.
Oh, that's really fascinating. Now, you've been sharing with us some facts. What are some misconceptions people have about venomous creatures?
Oh, simple, that they're vicious, bloodthirsty killers that want to bite you for no reason whatsoever. Or I always teach people there's nothing for you to fear, but you do need a level of respect. And even with children, if you're teaching children to just run away and be scared of them, all they're going to do as they grow up is kill them later on. And that's detrimental to our environment. We have a lot of rodents throughout the United States, and rodents are really good at leaving presents behind. Those are not raisins, kids. Do not eat those. But nonetheless, one of the top predators for them are our snake species. And so by keeping them around, we can keep those rodent populations down, which at the end of the day keeps us safer.
Wow, that's really amazing. Now, how do you seek to address these misconceptions?
Easy, by bringing them to people.
Now, you have a show, right?
Yeah, so the Wild Man Dance Show, I basically go around, I teach anywhere from TK all the way up to adults, and I bring these wonderful animals around, and I try to show people these awesome creatures, their cool attributes, the things that they do, what to do, what not to do, a whole lot of what not to do, like so much of what not to do. But then I also just bring them around, not only so that they can interact with the animal, but so they can be more at ease. Being able to see a rattlesnake on the ground and me walk right by its face and watch as that animal pulls away and goes the other way and tries to avoid me really is an eye-opener for a lot of people who think that these animals will attack you, which is not the case.
Now, you were recently actually on the Mr. Beast show. Mr. Beast is, if people don't know, he's the #1 YouTuber in the world.
Yeah, the guy is huge, and it was awesome. I was on episode 0, which was in Las Vegas, the craziest experience of my life. 2,000 contestants trying to fight for a spot for a place for the Amazon Prime Video, which just finished airing. And then I got eliminated in episode 1 on Amazon Prime, but it was still awesome nonetheless. Thank you so much, Mr. Beast. I had a blast, and I would totally do it again.
Well, it sounds like a very epic experience. You know, in regards to this show and this platform that you have, I know you go around to various schools and organizations and you share about poisonous and venomous creatures. You're also a Bible-believing Christian. How do you connect those two?
Oh, how do you connect those? How do you not connect those two, I think, is a better question. If you take any study subject, for instance, like if you want to go into genetics, if you want to go into animals, if you want to do anatomy and physiology of the human body, or you want to go to veterinary and start anatomy and physiology of those animals, you're going to go on a giant rabbit hole into what is going on. And how did this happen? I mean, just for genetics, for instance, we have DNA, which is our entire building blocks for everything that we have. How is it that this sequence, this pattern, right, if it makes a mistake, you're done for, or you could have some really bad adverse effects, has a backup sequence, right? Something that goes back and says, let me double check, okay, no, this needs correction. And then that has a backup sequence that also rechecks that as well. You know, there are so many cool facts about this world that, in my opinion, really point to someone who wanted to design that and create that so that it works perfectly.
Wow, that's really beautiful. What you're telling us essentially is that there's intricacies in design, in nature, And that speaks of a creator God to you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so I study science, and everything, if you really think about it, is all one big hypothesis, right? So you have two of the biggest ones, right? Everything happened by just absolute chance, or someone created it. But both of them you have to have faith in, because nobody was actually there. No one was there for the Big Bang, and no one was there for when God created everything. So both of them require faith. Which one you want to put your faith in is truly up to you, but in my opinion, it leads to more of someone who actually designed it that way than it does that it happened by absolute chance. Because then you have questions like, okay, well, which one came first, the male or the female? And then if the male came first and then the female came after, were they in the exact same spot so that they actually could reproduce? Or was the male way over here and the female was over there and somehow they ended up finding each other? I mean, it gets ridiculously
Requires a lot more faith there.
Oh, so much more. And a lot of math. Much math.
This is really fascinating because, you take a good look at some of the diaries of Charles Darwin and other, scientists and researchers that went down the path of atheism. And it was because they would often see the brutality in nature. But as someone who actually studies out venomous creatures and some of the more, maybe some of the more aggressive, snakes like rattlesnakes, or we should say assertive snakes, not aggressive snakes.
Yeah,
learning
defensive.
a lot here. Defensive is a better word. You have deepened your faith in God. Why is that?
I would say that comes from my love of animals for sure, but that was probably from an experience that I had in Costa Rica, I would say. See, I grew up in a Christian home, so I got to hear all the stories about how God speaks to Jonah. He speaks to Moses. And I mean, he's literally talking to them. And this is an all-powerful God that spoke everything into existence, right? It shouldn't be that hard for him to want to talk to me if he really does love me. It shouldn't, right? It should be a very simple task. If your child is saying, hey, come play with me, you're going to play with your child. So if I'm your child, why can't you talk to me the way you talk to everybody else, especially if I'm asking you for that? And so I struggled with this for a very long time. And I think it was in high school I went on a mission trip and I made a bet with God. And I was like, hey, listen, you've never spoken to me. I read, I pray every single day. I do what I'm supposed to. I love animals. And you said that gift is from you and you made all these animals for me. Why won't you talk to me? So I'm going to go to Costa Rica. You show me this butterfly, the blue morpho butterfly. If I find it, you're real. If I don't find it, you're not real. And so I went. And I had the craziest experience. I mean, I saw lizards like you'd never believe, butterflies of all sorts of shapes and colors, fruit trees, flowers. I mean, this world is beautifully vast and diverse. But I didn't see that blue morpho butterfly. I was there for about 3 weeks. It wasn't until the very last day. We're supposed to leave. And I go as deep as I can into that jungle, farther than I've ever gone before. And I finally find when I chase it down, I'm trying to catch it, and I lose it. And I'm completely lost. I ran right off the trail. And so I'm lost. I have no idea how to get back, and I'm upset. You go 17, 18 years believing that someone loves you unconditionally and created all these things for you, and you make a deal with them, and they don't honor their deal. Or they show you just a little bit, and then they take it away. And so I was crying. I was upset. I was down, and it wasn't until I started to get quiet and relax a little bit and try to get my bearings that I started to listen, and I could hear movement all around me. And as I'm listening, I'm like, okay, what is that, a jaguar? Is it gonna eat me now, or it's over for? And it's just little movement, but it's everywhere. And I open my eyes and I start paying attention, and I can see fruit on the ground, fruit trees everywhere. You got flowers of every color you could think of, and you're seeing blue all over the place. And when I finally stood up and I looked around, I was surrounded by these blue morpho butterflies in every direction you could think of. And it wasn't until that moment that I realized that God had been talking to me since I got there, since the day I was born. Every single animal I've ever encountered was him saying, hey, check this out. Hey, look at this sloth. Hey, check out this snake. Look at this, look at that, look at that. And I just wasn't paying attention. I wanted him to talk to me in one specific way, but he'd been talking to me in 1,000 different ways. And sometimes it takes a really bad situation to really get you to sit there and go, hey, he is talking to you. So I would say that's my great story with the big man upstairs.
That's beautiful. And a wonderful reminder that it's not that God is distant. Sometimes we just need to still our heart to hear what he has already been speaking to us about.
I agree with you 100%.
Well, this has been a totally cool feature. I know we have much more to talk about and experience. Not sure how you feel about snakes, but after our break, we'll get to see some up close and personal, and hear how some of nature's most misunderstood creatures reveal profound truths about God. Don't go away. Thank you, Daniel. Welcome back to Hope at Night. Earlier in the program, Daniel Quinones shared his lifelong interest with snakes and other venomous animals, not to mention a few animals themselves. Now I want to talk to Daniel about some of the deeper messages that he shares with his audiences. You know, Daniel, you talk a lot about reptiles, poisonous and venomous creatures. How do you weave the message of conservation into your presentations?
It takes time and patience. You want to hit them with a lot of facts about animals, and then at the end of the day, have them interact with them at the same time. But I think one of the easiest ways is to let people know that not all snakes are venomous, or not all of them that bite you. Do you need to go to the hospital? For instance, we have a lot of native species throughout the United States or across the world that even if they do bite you, you're only going to bleed just a little bit. I actually brought a couple with me today.
Let's see them.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I got one right here.
You normally just keep it in your pocket?
Sometimes. Shirt too. So like, for instance, this one is a very common species here in Maryland. This is a black rat snake. They are non-venomous, so all they have are just teeth, and they are constrictors. So they go around, they bite down onto a rodent, a bird, or a lizard, and then they swallow it down whole, as simple as that. So even if it were to bite you, which they are incredibly placid, usually they don't bite you at all. They'll just slither around looking for the next tree to climb up, or they think you're a tree sometimes, like this guy is thinking right now. But non-venomous, wouldn't hurt a fly even if it wanted to, and really, really sweet animal. You could even give him a kiss.
Well, Daniel, those are famous last words. It usually doesn't bite people. So, in fact, I'd like to actually invite one of our audience members to participate. Would anyone like to hold a snake? How about you?
Yes.
Awesome. So come on over, have a seat. I'm just going to take her and put you right here in your arms. And I actually brought more than one. You want to grab one more participant?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Who else would like to hold a snake? Let's get you. Come on in.
So smooth.
Yeah. Come on over, have a seat. This one, on the other hand, is not a native to the United States. So you can commonly find them in the pet trade. This is a reticulated python, which is the longest snake species in the world. In terms of pound for pound, green anaconda is the heaviest snake species, but a reticulated python gets way longer. We're talking close to about 30 feet. This is a young male.
Wait, it's going to get to 30 feet?
Eventually. Yeah.
30 feet?
Uh-huh.
What do they eat at 30 feet?
You don't want to know.
Okay.
So yeah, really, really cool animal, very, very placid, and they do take down very large mammals and occasionally ones we're very close to. So, but let me put this guy, check him out. Yeah, you can just sit there, or you can stand up, whichever one works. There you go. So a lot of people think that they're very slimy and gross, and they're actually incredibly soft if you want to feel his skin itself. And when it comes to holding snakes, it's pretty simple. They just hold you. So you guys are doing great. Yeah, I'd like to teach children not to use their fingers. You don't want to squeeze, but you want to give them your fingers so they can kind of like interlace themselves. But the black snake looks like he's enjoying your arm there. How you doing with the reticulated pythons like to climb up? Yeah.
He's getting close around that neck right there.
Like an extra necklace.
Yeah, it's just he's just looking at your new branch, you know. He's saying, "Hey, check out this new tree. It's actually warm."
It is very soft.
But here, let me put them away. Thank you guys so much. So we'll put this beautiful guy back. Let me find the back for it. 1 second. Doop, doop, doop.
I think he wants to be petted. Daniel, do you have names for these snakes?
Yeah, a lot of them, but it takes some time. For instance, this is Gary,
Gary.
the reticulated python, and then the black his name is Baron.
Daniel, I would just never have come up with the name Gary for this kind of snake.
What kind of name would you come up with?
Dragon fighter.
Dragon fighter.
Something like that, a little bit vicious. But I think this has to do also with your understanding of snakes and your experience with them. You just see them as different kinds of creatures, not to be feared, but to be appreciated and respected.
Yeah, so for instance, dogs, cats, everybody has one. And in terms of understanding their behavior and personality, it's written right on their face. If a dog is snarling his teeth at you, you're like, don't touch that one. Or if it's a little chihuahua barking at you, you're like, you could, but, no, I'm okay. Snakes, on the other hand, and reptiles in general, in terms of telling you how they feel, it's very hard to see. One, because people don't interact with them a lot, and their body language in terms of telling you is very subtle. So that's, I feel like, a big factor in why a lot of individuals are scared of them. Mm-hmm. When in actuality, that animal is more scared of you than you are of it. Mm-hmm. And for good reason. For years, all we've done is chop them up into little pieces the second we see them. And it's really not fair. The animal's just doing exactly what it was meant to do, which was look out for rodents, reproduce, and then hide. Simple as that. And we've encroached so much on their habitat with all of our buildings and stuff, they don't really have a lot of other places to go. And especially when you have a beautiful garden, which unfortunately attracts rodents and birds, which is exactly what they want to eat, they're going to come find you eventually. But there's a beautiful way of coexisting with one another.
Do you think it is the responsibility of Christians to care for their environment?
Oh, without a doubt. You want to just stop in Genesis. Genesis, God created Adam and Eve. He put them into a garden and asked them to take care of it. It does say to have dominion, but the word dominion is more of a place of love, to take care of, to watch out for, to show where you should be, what you should do, plant these plants in this specific area, etc. And that is our goal even now. Not only with one another, but with our world. We should try to live with it, not on top of it. So I think it is a definite a place where Christians need to be, for sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, there are some ideas out there that, who cares about this world? It's going to be destroyed anyways. Those kinds of thinking that allow people to sometimes just, I'll put it this way, disrespect nature or not care about it. But the message you are sharing is, look, God has given us nature, and we're to be good stewards and caretakers of that. Is that right?
100%, yeah. Because if you're going to take that stance where it's going to get destroyed, might as well destroy it anyways, why can't you also take the stance of, well, do I need to be good to my neighbor? He's going to get destroyed anyways, right? By having one stance in that direction, you can easily find other branches to that. And that's the door we want to actually keep closed. We want to be kind to one another as well as our earth. We want to show people, hey, that change that's happening on the outside is actually one that's on the inside too. And it's applied to everything. Because if that was the case, God would have just wiped everything off the first time,
right?
Not the second.
As you're studying out the Bible and as you are involved in the work of conservation and spending time researching these animals, what lessons are you getting in the scriptures about these creatures?
Oh, okay, check this out. Anti-venom. Remember we were talking about it earlier? So, anti-venom is this tiny little vial, and you need it in order to survive a rattlesnake bite. And this little vial is going to cost you anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 per vial. You're going to need 20 to 30 of them for a rattlesnake bite. It's a very expensive bite. Now, insurance will cover it if, one, you're not a man. It's actually a joke, because most men are. It's their fault for getting bit. But, it depends on whether it's your fault or not. Now, anti-venom, fascinating. What we do as humans is we find something that has incredible destructive power, which is venom, which its only purpose is to destroy, damages cells, whether it's the nervous system, gastrointestinal, your tissues, you name it. That's what it does. Gets in there, breaks it all down. We take it. We collect it from these animals. So we catch a rattlesnake, milk it using a beaker. I don't hurt the animal and just let it go right back into the wild. All I need is the venom. And we take that small amount of venom, and we're going to take a sheep. We're going to inject a little bit of that venom into the sheep. Not enough that
A sheep?
Yeah, a sheep. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So we're not going to...
I just want to make sure I heard you right.
Yeah, that could have been a goat too. We're going with sheep, everybody, sheep. So We take a little bit of that venom, inject it into the sheep. Not enough that it hurts it, but so that it starts to generate antibodies, specifically designed to stop those proteins of the venom to causing damage. Then what we're going to do after a long period of time of injecting it with a little bit of venom every single time, we're going to collect those antibodies. So we're not going to actually hurt the animal itself or kill it. We're just going to collect those antibodies from its blood. And we're going to take those antibodies, clean them up so that we can actually inject that inside of you and save your life. Now, that story ties in with a great one, which is found in the Bible, which is also, everybody knows it as the blood of the Lamb. But basically, there is another type of toxin, right? Besides poisons and venoms, there's one in the Bible that is known as sin. And now everyone that is born has sin, and you're eventually going to die. We know that the Bible says the wages of sin is death. So how is it that we're not going to die from sin? What is our anti-venom for sin, or anti-sin, for instance? And the Bible states it clearly. It states that the blood of the Lamb, where Jesus Christ came, shed his blood, gave us his antibodies in order to redeem us or save us from the toxin of sin. And I think that's such a cool thing. And it wasn't until I told the story of anti-venom to this one lady, I can't remember who it was. She was like, hey, that's kind of like how Jesus died on the cross. And I was like, oh, are you serious? And then I was like, yeah, that really is. It's like the exact same story. And then it ties in with another Bible verse, which is my absolute favorite, which is found in Job 12, verses 7 through 10, where it talks about if you just look at the birds in the sky, the fish in the sea, the animals in the land, or anything that this world has, that they all point to God. And it's true. If you take a moment to stop, to pay attention, to look at even the small intricacies of this earth, you're going to end up with the same conclusion most likely, which is, yeah, it's way too complex just to happen by chance. There's got to be somebody out there who did make it, and, you know, there's also a good chance that he's talking to you. Can you hear him? Simple as that.
Yeah, Neil, that's such a beautiful illustration, but the very fact of the lamb's blood, or the blood of a lamb, is the anti-venom that can cure a venomous bite.
Is crazy. Humans have a great capability of doing a lot of good and also a lot of bad. You know, we can make a lot of toxins ourselves, pesticides and stuff that protect fruits and plants, but also cause a lot of damage sometimes. But we also have great capability of taking something that is destructive and turning it into something that actually helps people. For instance, venom is not only used just for anti-venom. There are a lot of medicines or medical therapeutics that are derived from venomous animals, painkillers, you name it. There's one that is made from the Gila monster venom that actually helps to treat diabetes. We have amazing capabilities of taking something bad and turning it into something good. And I think that is a blessing from God.
Wow, that's really fascinating. It's given me a whole new appreciation for venomous creatures.
Awesome, that's the goal. Yes, that's what we're going for.
Speaking of that, what's your hope for people to walk away when it comes to your messages? What's the takeaway you want them to have as they're listening to you and experiencing, you know, the presentations? What do you want them to walk away with?
A couple things I would say. Guys, don't touch rattlesnakes. That's like the first one, okay? So please don't touch them. You can get training on how to relocate them. Don't pick them up and then get bit in the face. The statistics are bad. It's really, really bad. So that would be number one. Two, nothing for you to fear. Except for like polar bears and brown bears. They actually will try to eat you. So just outrun the person right next to you. That's really much how you got to do it. But respecting all of our animals, whether they have 8 legs or super hairy or no legs at all, they're there for a reason. They do have a purpose in our world, in the grand scheme of things. And having them and protecting them so that our world continues to function is super important. And finally, God is talking to you. He really is. The fact that you woke up, he's talking to you. Maybe it was that job you didn't get. There's a reason behind that. Maybe it's the job that you did get. Maybe you found your keys. Do you really think that was by accident? I've started to come to think about it. Everything that happens, whether small or big, it truly is God trying to reach you, trying to say, hey, I'm right here, I'm knocking. Will you let me in? So take a moment, if you have the chance, to really stop and look back at your life, because I can tell you 1,001 ways I should not be here right now, but I still am.
What's been your most memorable experience with a dangerous animal?
Besides my mom, I'm in a vehicle, and so a lot of people do what is called road hunting. During the summer season, it's very hot in the day, so the snakes don't come out. They wait until the evening time to actually come out, and you can find them on the road. You just drive in desolate areas, and boop, there's one. So I was with these two young men. I've known them since they were 4 and 6. They're much older now. And we're out on this middle of nowhere looking for animals, and I do see a little snake on the side of the road, so we pull over, and I'm like, wait in the car, because there's oncoming traffic. I need to see if it's a rattlesnake first. I need to see if it's even alive, and I want to make sure no one gets hit. So I'm out of the vehicle. I'm getting ready to look at this animal. Semi is coming out, and the two boys jump out of the vehicle. And so as I'm reaching down for the snake, I'm paying attention over at the boys, and I'm like, get back in the car. And I grab this animal, and I look down, and I notice it's a rattlesnake. I was so worried about their safety, I didn't even pay attention to see what kind of animal it was that I was holding down here. And so I pick it up, I go, uh-oh, pee a little bit, drop it, and then I walk away. And I was just sitting there, I was like, 1, those 2 boys are safe. 2, that animal could have bitten me.
Wow.
But because, in my opinion, God had a hand over me to keep me safe, and also built these animals not to consume us, not to be aggressive towards us, to fear us, to watch out for us, to make sure there's a bit of respect, I'm here today to talk to you guys. So I would say that's probably the biggest one.
That's an incredible story of God's grace.
Amen. Yeah, thank you.
Good lessons there. Right?
Don't stop, please.
I'm sure you do a lot of prayer.
Oh, so much, so much.
What messages do you want young people to have, and how can we teach young people how to appreciate nature more?
It really starts with parents, 100%. A lot of times when I'm showing animals, you get 1 or 2 moms or dads that I'm bringing the animal in, and instantly there's that pullback, right? Children are incredibly good at picking up your facial cues and your body language, right? You are their protector. The second you do that, it instills fear on the spot. And that can carry on all the way into adulthood. It may make you nervous, but instead of pulling them away, it's good to teach them, hey, we want to keep a little bit of distance. We don't want to poke it. Mommy's a little nervous, Papi's a little nervous, whatever you want to say, but it's not going to hurt you. You know, trying to teach children, you don't have to fear it, you don't have to touch it, but at the same time, you can respect it. Yeah, that would probably be one. And then
I like that, by the way, that lesson, the difference between fear and respect.
Yes.
Right? Don't fear nature, but you can respect it.
Absolutely. Even if it's from a healthy distance of a mile away, do it. You know, whatever makes you comfortable. And then secondly, follow your dreams. For the longest time, I never thought I'd be able to do something with animals. And not only that, I didn't really have parents that wanted to push me in that direction. My dad's used to rats, cockroaches, and pigeons, you know, growing up in New York, and dogs and cats. That's it. I bring in a snake, he's like, no, down, go to your room. So, you know, being at a place now where I get to do what I love, any child can do that. If you have a passion, if you have a dream, I believe it's a God-given one. Pursue it. You have no idea where it'll take you. And if a door closes, don't worry. There's going to be another one that opens. It may not open when you're ready, or it may not open when you want it to open, but it will open when the time is right.
Daniel, this has been such an inspiring experience. Thank you for being here. Daniel, I think you've changed a lot of minds today, but before we go to our break, I want to invite you to visit our website at hopetv.org/hopeatnight, where you can view previous episodes, download Bible study resources, and also get a free gift. Check it out. When we return, we'll take questions from our live studio audience. Don't go away. Welcome back to Hope at Night. Tonight we've been talking about creation through the lens of nature. But now I'd like to hear from our audience members. Who has the first question? Right over there.
Daniel, I'm very impressed with you. This is certainly a gift from above. There's no denying that. I want to know, when was the definite moment in your life that you knew that this was what you were meant to do?
That's a great question. My mom would answer it like this. When I was 2, catching stuff outside. When I was 3, wasn't allowed into the house unless I emptied my pockets of whatever living creature was in there. So pretty much, I would say my whole life I've loved animals. But it wasn't until that butterfly story that I mentioned earlier when I was in Costa Rica that it really hit me that this isn't just like something I'm gonna grow out of. This is something that God actually wants me to pursue. And by the grace of God and a long sequence of steps, I was able to get somewhere where I can now share that with you guys, which I love doing. It's a blast.
And that definitely comes out of you. It definitely exudes out of you. You have a passion for animals, and it's exciting in the education you share with us.
Well, praise God.
Yeah. Any other questions? Right over there.
What is your take on Genesis when God made snakes an abomination for what the serpent did to Adam and Eve?
That's a great question. And that's actually probably one of the biggest pushbacks I get with people who do not like snakes and think all snakes are bad snakes and should be killed.
It's biblical.
Yeah, right? It's biblical. But we're talking about something deeper. God is trying to tell you something, but in a way that you can understand. When we're talking about the serpent there, we're actually talking about somebody completely different. We're talking about Satan or Lucifer, the person who's out to actually get you. If there is a venomous snake that does want to bite you, it's that guy, not a rattlesnake. Doesn't want anything to do with you. So the snakes that God created, even though they were cursed, we were cursed alongside them. But God still loves us. Why wouldn't God also love his other creation as well? So I think you can take that story in multiple different ways. Understanding that, one, we're talking about Satan and Lucifer as the deceiver. That's who God actually cursed there. And also, just as God is giving us second chances, maybe we should give our wonderful animals a second chance too.
Right, and I like how you clarified this. The threat in Genesis, in the Garden of Eden, that came into the Garden of Eden wasn't the snake. It was really the devil.
Yes.
Right, that's the real enemy at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, he's out to get you. Yeah.
Right.
And he'll do anything.
Right. Appreciate the clarification. Any other questions?
Daniel, do you have any pets at home? And if so, what kind of pets do you have?
Now that's a question. I have close to about 100 animals at home. All of them are rescues.
100?
About 100, yeah. Probably more. I lost a couple. I'll find them eventually. No, I'm playing. But yeah, close to about 100. I have anything from like giant mainland reticulated pythons. I have a female. Her name is Zora. She's about 18 feet long. She is the sweetest, heaviest. I threw out my bag several times. Help me. But she's awesome. I have small animals like tiny little bearded dragons like Suki. She sleeps with me in my bed. And then I have this one. His name is Big Red. He has these giant cheeks. He's a red tegu. He will sleep on your chest.
A red tegu?
Tegu, yeah.
What is that?
They're from South America. They're these giant, fat lizards. And they have the males have these big cheeks. They're called jowls. And if you rub his cheeks, he'll fall asleep. I love him.
How do you take care of 100 animals? That seems like a full-time job in of itself.
It really is a full-time job, and it's thanks to, programs like the Hope Channel and you guys, all the support that I get from everyone, all the churches, the schools. You guys help pay for the insane electric bill. But yeah, so it's really thanks to everyone who has helped me and also God who has blessed me to be able to take care of them.
I have enough trouble with my one dog, but if you have 100 different creatures you're taking care of, I can imagine it's a lot of work. Now, has any of them gotten loose in your house?
I think the safe answer is no.
Okay.
Yeah. You lose one once in a while. I get tired. It's exhausting. So sometimes I forget to put a lock on, and then you'll sleep, and then at night you hear, and it's just like my giant reticulated python out crawling all over the place. And I'm like, I'm too tired. Just enjoy the living room for now, and then I'll wake up later. So yeah, so it depends. But nothing has escaped from the apartment.
Okay. Now, you were not worried about these animals eating each other?
Some of them will definitely try, like king snakes eat everything. So at least that one I triple check the locks, and then I have rattlesnakes at home as well, so I always triple check those locks as well. Yeah, I haven't lost one of those.
Okay.
Help me.
Yeah. I mean, I can just imagine inviting people over. Let me prepare you for this.
No, I don't prepare, because I always want that reaction. I'm like, come on in. And they're just like, what's going on? I'm like, it's a trap. Close the door.
Sounds like the beginning of a horror movie. All right. Any other question? Right over there.
Daniel, are you immune to any certain venoms after handling all these animals over the past few years?
Now that's an awesome question. So your body is beautifully made. If we were to have been bitten all of our lives, in generations, right, we would be immune to even rattlesnake bites. I believe there's a population of individuals in India that one of the rituals they have is men will stand on this tree stump and then they will have a cobra in their hand and they'll let it bite them over and over again because they won't die, but they'll fall asleep. Their body actually has generated antibodies against the venom. You and I are capable of that, but we don't get bit every day. So what happens is you get bit and it's a lot of venom and your body can't keep up with it. I think I am immune to like the scorpion, that bark scorpion, because I've been stung so many times and now I don't feel that pain anymore. So it is possible to gain an immunity, and there are some people who actually do experiments on themselves. I do not recommend doing that, but it is possible. It is possible.
You know, what you're describing is, I actually witnessed this. I went to India and there was a snake handler on a corner, older gentleman, and he had a black cobra and he was looking at me and he had the snake and it was literally biting him on the arm and he's like this, and I'm like, this man's about to die.
Yeah.
And he didn't,
Yeah.
you know? That's really fascinating.
It is amazing. You know, God created you to survive, and he created a beautiful body. I mean, look at where we are today. It's because of the health that we are able to exude and also because of the medical field. So I'm very fortunate that I'm not immune to rattlesnake bites, and I don't want to be. I don't want to get bit ever by that one, ever.
Now I gotta ask you, how many times have you been bitten by a snake, and what kinds of snakes?
I've been bitten by non-venomous snakes.
Okay.
For instance, coach whips, or red racers, or just racers in general. They're very fast animals. They do not like being touched. I can't help myself, though. I see it, I'm like, ah, and then it's like, ah, and then it's just like done. And then it looks at you and ah, but it's just like little tiny needles, and you bleed a little bit. I haven't been bit by something really big yet, thank God. You know, the larger the snake, the longer the teeth, and they're all rear-faced. So when they bite, it's meant to not be able to pull away. And when you've got inch-long teeth, so haven't been bit by one of those, and I have not been bitten by a venomous snake.
Let's pray that streak continues.
Yes, please, all of you, thank you.
Any other questions?
Would you say you got closer to God because of your love for animals, or did you get closer to animals because of your love for God?
I think in the beginning, I just had a love for animals. And over time, I've developed a love for God through that passion of mine. And now the reverse is happening. My love for animals is deepening because of my love for God. It was a weird circle. I've always loved animals. I would be out catching anything, you name it. And through that and studying that and realizing how complex it is, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Maybe somebody did create it. And then that butterfly event that happened, yeah, it's a whirlwind of emotions. And my love for both God and nature has just deepened all together in one, that I see it as all in the same.
You know, it's fascinating. In the new heavens and new earth, the Bible talks about this future eternity God has planned for his people. There are descriptions of animals there, descriptions of lions and lambs, and the violence of nature is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. All I know is it's going to be beautiful. And two, I told God I want a dragon, black and blue. So when we get up there, look for me. I'll be in the sky flying on my dragon. Like, that's going to be so awesome. But yeah, who knows what other species there were before this too. I don't know. Or after this.
Right. A number of creatures have become extinct, but to see what God created in its unadulterated form is going to be quite amazing.
Incredibly beautiful.
Yeah. Wonderful. Any other questions?
So my question for you is, how do you balance the application of the Word of God, where certain scriptures tell us that we should trample over snakes and scorpions, like in Psalm 91, versus in your reality loving those very same creatures that the Bible mentions that we should trample over to achieve victory in challenging situations?
The only way to really understand those metaphors is taking the time out of your day to read it, right? And as you're reading it, you'll see hints all over the place, connections throughout the entire Bible. And when God is talking about trampling over ABC, for instance, scorpions and snakes, maybe what he's actually referring to are maybe addictions that you may have, or things that don't attribute love, for instance, or even tying it right back to Satan. The definition for God is love. In order to love, you must love others, but then you also must love God. If you love God, then you wouldn't hurt what he created, which would be the entire earth. If you love God, then you wouldn't hurt your neighbor. And then if you're also supposed to love your neighbor as yourself, would you harm yourself? No, you would love yourself. I mean, love your neighbor as much as you'd love yourself. So if it doesn't match that definition of love, then you know it can't be what you should be doing, or what, in my opinion, for most of us, we would believe is the right thing to do, is morally acceptable. So trampling over scorpions and snakes, not so much, but trampling over something that is either burdening you or maybe Satan who's trying to attack you, definitely trample over him, but with the power of God.
Any other questions?
But is keeping wild animals in captivity appropriate?
Oh, that's a great question. If you really think about it, every pet that we have today came from the wild, right? So you have to start somewhere. There are appropriate collection tactics, right? You can collect a certain number from a population without hurting that population in the long run, which is why we have Fish and Game and a lot of laws in place. For me and for my animals, when people take something out of the wild and now you don't know where it goes, you can't just let it go anywhere. It may have diseases, it may have viruses that are not familiar to a different population compared to where it's originally from. So now you can't release it anymore. So now it's either, do I kill it, euthanize it, or do I keep it in captivity and use it for education? And so I like the education portion of it. I don't like euthanizing animals just because you can't find a place for it. There's definitely a use for them. I don't think it's appropriate to take everything out of the wild, but for instance, rhinos. We moved them into captivity because there's so few of them, and now we're trying to help bring back their populations. Sometimes humans can take things out of the wild into captivity to bring them back to the wild. So there are healthy ways of doing both, and also unhealthy ways, but let's stick to the healthy ones.
And a lot of your animals are rescue animals.
All of them are rescue animals. And a lot of people want to get a reptile, especially kids, and then 2 weeks later they're bored and they get rid of it. And it's not fair to the animal, and it's definitely not fair to those who are trying to rescue them. If you get an animal, you want to keep it for the rest of that animal's life. Just like your mom and dad don't get rid of you if you don't clean up your room or listen to them. And trust me, I did a lot of that. If you pick an animal, be responsible, and when you go to college, it goes to college with you.
We got time for one more question.
I had one. So we started out today, we were kind of fearful of something we didn't understand, and I think there's a lot of diversity in the world right now. How could we apply what you have taught us, or how to get along with animals or things we don't, how could we apply that to uniting ourselves as a people?
See, this is why I like animals. Animals are pretty blunt. They'll tell you exactly what they want. Either stay away from me, or I'm going to bite you, which is nice. Sometimes humans will hide their intentions, and it makes it difficult. But nonetheless, we're still supposed to love one another. And also, I think what everybody could learn, which has taken me a long time to do, and a lot of therapy sessions, honestly, is active listening. A lot of people, they hear something, they don't agree with it, and immediately they become very defensive, which I'm not going to lie, that was my whole life for a while. And then I learned how to actively listen. Instead of defending yourself, repeating it back to that person. Is this what you meant? And then trying to build an understanding. What are the emotions behind your understanding for this exact topic? There's no reason why someone can believe something completely different and you still not have respect for them. The rattlesnake lives a completely different lifestyle compared to us. Yet, as long as there's that mutual respect, neither one of us will end up deceased or in the hospital. And the same can be applied for humans in general. There's no reason why you can believe something, I can believe something different, and we still hang out and go bowling. I love bowling, by the way. So I think if everyone would take a moment to actively listen and still treat each other with respect regardless of what somebody else may believe, I think everybody would have a better time.
That's beautiful. I mean, you see it in the life of Christ. He had tax collectors, he had zealots, he had fishermen, he had people from every kind of spectrum that were following him, and they changed the world.
Oh, absolutely. And if you want to read someone who's very good at steering arguments in the direction he wants it to go, read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You will find Jesus, people trying to bait him constantly, trying to get him upset, trying to throw him off. And Jesus is like, nah, let's go this way. The Bible is so cool, and you learn so much from it that you can apply it in the real world, and you become a better person, and you can also help others with that as well. So active listening for sure, I think would help a lot. And respect, just mutual respect regardless of the belief.
Daniel, thank you so much. You've shared right now from the Bible, a book of revelation from God, and then you talked about nature, another book of revelation about who God is.
Amen.
It's been an exciting experience and conversation I've had with you. In the bustling rhythm of our everyday lives, we often overlook the small, intricate details of the world around us. From the patterns of light through the leaves to the animals around us, each element of nature is deserving of our awe and reflection. The unique design that allows a frog to leap, or even the specific colors of a butterfly, aren't just happenstances. They are deliberate acts of creation, inviting us to see a reflection of the Creator himself. And just as you marvel at the things of nature, remember that you too were specifically created and lovingly designed. So next time a snake, a frog, or any unwanted animal crosses your path, I hope you'll take a moment to appreciate it. Maybe it was even put in your way as a reminder to pause and think of God, because it's only through Him we can truly have hope at night.